I'm Christina Kahn,
And I'm Leela Hilton.
and this is Burn Before Reading, a podcast about literature.
We are here to discuss the terrible writing we did when we were younger and touch on some cringy and nostalgic topics right along the way.
With us today is our friend Takenna. Say hello to the listeners, Takenna.
Hey everyone.
Hey girl, hey!
Hello. We are very happy to have you here. You guys might remember Takenna. Oh God, where to begin? But
It's been a while.
I'm going.
Where to begin?
Takenna was on one of our earliest episodes because she's got some pretty serious cringe poetry. Oh, it was called Mormon sex drama, which
Oh
could
my God,
Wow,
that's hilarious.
that
how
could also
appropriate.
that could also be the name of this episode. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe Podbean wouldn't let us do that. Takenna also came on to talk about another one of her poems. The Sometimes the ick is inside you is the episode about running away. Takenna
Seems
also
appropriate.
came on. I'm like, I know you came on like 6 more times. Um,
I was on the other
what?
podcast a bunch.
Oh yeah, you've okay. So maybe you weren't on for season 2 at all. Is that possible?
I don't think
And
I was, no.
then you came on to talk about a Twilight book, right?
No, because I've been holding off for this episode.
Oh my God, that's why.
Oh, okay. Okay, so like
Even though
I
I'm probably the most Twilight person in the Discord.
yeah, seriously, like I had a memory of you coming on for Twilight, but it was a premonition, not a memory.
Yes.
Oh,
Takenna uses she, her pronouns, and also Takenna and I have embraced each other since the last
We
time she
met
was on the
IRL.
finally.
show.
I can't
We,
believe it.
as everyone
I
heard,
can't help you.
Takenna's
I cannot.
parenting.
I'm sorry, I cannot. I told you I don't understand that video game. I cannot help you with it. But if you want to do tablet instead, I'll bring it. You can do tablet. No, I do not know how to connect that. I told you I didn't know how to do it. Okay. Sorry.
Yes, Takenna was a bright shining star on a very hard day for me at the Hillary Duff
Oh
concert.
yeah. Listening to your description of being at that concert was like so like I was like, "Oh my God, I know I come up at some point in this." But I had a complete opposite day.
Yeah, you look like you
Which
had a great time.
I had
which is
such a good
great.
time. I remember you messaged me, you're like, "We're gonna leave Richmond at 5," and I was like, "Okay."
Rachel,
And like we
Rachel has a baby. We had to make it work.
it was really funny because I went with my friend who also has a baby, but she was gonna stay the night here with the baby, and my babysitter came to watch her baby, and
Nice.
it did not like the babysitter. The baby.
Oh no.
My spouse mostly helped out with the baby,
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm
but it
glad
was
y'all
really
are
good. She
having
needed it.
fun. Yeah, hell yeah.
It's a
Excuse
honker.
me. Excuse me. Gotta honk my nose real fast. Um, to kind of how have you been lately? Since how have you been since I saw you last at the Hillary Duff concert?
Um, I mean, I've been pretty good. As summer's winding down, kids are about to go back to school, which is always a great time for parents. We're like,
Yes.
yes, let's get you out of the house.
Yes. Okay. Aw-
But
Awesome.
chill.
Leela, how have you been doing lately? How's your body?
It's fine, you know.
Woo! We'll
She's
take fine.
large, she's not in charge, and it's all we can ask for these
Yeah.
days. I'm
It
about
is.
3 weeks out until due date at this point,
By the time you're
so
listening to this, it'll be 2 weeks, dude.
Oh
ah,
wow.
yeah,
I mean
so
that
it's
one
real.
week, that 1 week between recording and release almost never matters on this show, but right now it does.
Right now it super does,
I
yeah.
mean, that
So
gets you to almost full term.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I think full term is technically 37 weeks. I thought it was 38, but my OB said 37 the last time I was there.
There's like
So,
some really interesting 39 is like always the agreed upon, like it can be any time from now. It doesn't need to be
okay.
the 40, but like 37 is like, yeah, we're not even gonna
Fully
try to stop it.
cooked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Um,
So,
yeah,
Like 36, they might try to stop it.
my
hmm.
cousin went into labor 1 month early because she had recently moved to Denver and the altitude affects
Oh yeah.
deliveries
So
out there.
hard.
Oh, crazy.
And
Yeah.
he was a big beautiful bouncing baby boy. Um, yeah, and for listeners, that is also like how long Leela is going to be on the show before she goes away for her maternity leave. So she'll be with us right up until the very end, much like the musicians on the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sacrificing exactly the same pride and amount.
Yeah, so Leela, after today, Leela has two more episodes on the main feed before you go on maternity leave, and we will be getting a substitute teacher. And you guys
Mhm.
are welcome to play as many tricks and pranks on them as you wish, and I won't say anything.
Hell yeah, but you're not allowed to prank me because I'll cry.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you can only prank them.
If you've been holding onto your pranks,
So someone
now's the
tough.
time.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
No.
Oh, well,
Tougher than
here
Leela.
I'll do. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. I'll
well,
do.
that's a low bar.
It's a low bar. I'm gonna do a big hint. It's not that big. This person,
Okay.
much like Leela, is also fabulous. No, just kidding. A Pisces. There's your hint.
A Pisces and fabulous.
Hmm. I mean, hey, if you have the right Guess Who characters in front of you, those are pretty good hints.
Yeah, it's true.
If you know
So,
what you're working with. Anyway, I just got back in town from celebrating my nephew's 1 year birthday. They call that a first birthday.
I mean,
Um,
literally just got back in town, right?
yeah, like 1 hour, less than 1 hour ago. um,
Crazy.
I got energy, man. I don't give a shit. Um, and Greer's cooking on the last 100 pages of a Brandon Sanderson novel right now, so he is not to be disturbed. So what else was I supposed to
Hmm.
do? But yeah,
Fair.
my sweet nephew Percy is 1 year old, and was just the belle of the ball yesterday, and we all love him so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's such a little chubby, sweet prince.
he is the
It was
fattest
really,
baby I've ever seen in the
it was
world.
so cute.
I love him
That's so
dearly.
cute.
Uh, I just try to channel. I'm like, oh my God, look at these fat thighs. I love them so much. And then I'm like, okay, Tina. And we turn to mirror and we say the same thing to ourselves.
Sorry, my cat is crying as if I have neglected her for life. Tina, what has been cringing you out lately?
I actually need to pull up some citations for this.
Okay.
Um, which I will do at this time. Hold on. My microphone is handheld, so I have to put it down.
What happened to your arm
Um,
or whatever it's called?
Oh.
so what has been cringing me out lately is this is kind of this has been like and a long cringe, but I just got like kind of like a cherry on top update that is upsetting me. But I'm fact checking this. I want to make sure I need facts. Come on, give me facts. Hold on. Okay. So my cringe of the day is that one of my absolute favorite actors of all time, one of the biggest honeys, I think, of my generation of actors, Nicholas Holt, has just
Oh.
agreed to participate in the Harry Potter TV show.
Wow.
That he
I did not
has
know this.
he has signed on to play unfortunately I think a truly perfect casting as Gilderoy Lockhart.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be great. That
Um
sucks.
but it is just like so truly unfortunate. Like I really want to protect the children who are taking part in this because a lot of them can't possibly know better. A lot of them have not been on this journey with us. A lot of them are
Yeah.
having professional choices made by their parents. So I definitely do not want to say anything about any of the child actors. But I do just my heart breaks a little bit every time an adult actor cheerfully signs up for this project. Especially an actor who is beloved by the ladies like Nicholas Holt. Leela, are you a big Nick guy?
Yeah, for sure. I think that he's so cute. He's like totally my type, like nerdy and handsome and
Yeah.
funny. I've loved him in everything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Takenna? You have you formerly previously enjoyed Nicholas Holt?
I did. I mean, like, so, he's in the X-Men, like,
Hmm.
reboot movies, and that's
Yeah.
where I've mostly seen him. And,
Oh,
like,
who
I've
does
only
he
seen,
play in X-Men?
he's the Beast.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So he's Frasier's character.
Yeah.
perfect,
But
perfect.
I've only seen like clips of the Great, but it's always like hilarious, and I'm just
It's
like, oh,
so
this is
good.
funny. And it seemed like, it's one of those things that you see it with the adults who are all trying to like justify their like contributions to this show, and it's just like, no, you just want to be there and you don't need to be there. And there's like some people are like, I've said no, I'm gonna say no again. I will not support this. And then
It's
it's
not
like,
hard.
and then, but from what I've seen, what I do like about the fandom is I haven't seen any hate towards the children at all.
Yeah, I think we all
That's
can
good.
agree that that's the
Like everyone's
opposite
like,
of what we're trying to
they're
do here.
kids. Like,
Yeah.
but the adults who are full well, even making statements about how they don't support her, but they're still participating. And it's
The
like,
unfortunate
you know
thing,
what you're doing.
yeah, like unfortunately, if you don't support her but you act in her IP, you do support her. You
You
are
are supporting her.
supporting her financially. And I think that in like in our society, money is one of the few pieces of power us individuals have. Um some of us less than others. I don't think I have any money. But like if you can't put your money where your values lie, then you're not actually saying anything.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel that way pretty strongly. I know that other people have diverse opinions, and you're entitled to your opinions, but I do think the stance of the show is pretty firmly that we do not give J.K. Rowling money anymore because it unequivocally this is facts of life. She uses some of that money to work against our queer community.
Yeah. Yes.
And so are you if you are supporting her work at this time. And it's also disappointing because there are so many easy ways to still engage with Harry Potter if you want to that do not involve giving her money. Like it's just really
Hmm.
easy to not do that. So I'm feeling pretty disappointed by him in particular. Like John Lithgow signing on, I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's an old white
Yeah.
man. I'm not really that surprised.
Right.
Even Nick Frost, I'm like, yeah, he seems like he's maybe never had a critical thought.
Yeah.
Just a guess. But this one hurts me.
It
Um,
it it does suck. Um, yeah. And it's like I wonder what kind of if he's gonna get. He will get backlash because shows like the X-Men inherently, for example, inherently have a very large queer following
yeah.
Hmm.
for obvious reasons.
Well, and
Um,
he also acts in a lot of like women's work. Like
Hmm.
yes.
he has played like the himbo husband, and he's in like The Great. And what's the other one where he is a similar character to The Great? It's something else
Oh,
like that.
I don't know, but he was in the not Dracula. What's it called? The other vampire that is
Oh,
basically Dracula.
Renfield?
No, no,
Nosferatu.
no.
Oh no,
Nosferatu.
he's in Renfield and Nosferatu, I think.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Wait, let me fact check. No, yeah, he is. He is. He's so
That's
good in
bizarre.
Renfield. So okay, and some of those
Yeah, he
I
is
will
good in
admit are
Renfield.
not that's not women's work.
Women's work.
He
That
plays
sounds like something else.
oh, it's the
It's a
favorite.
song.
It's the favorite. He also plays like oh my god. So
Oh,
and
yeah.
he someone of his caliber is not hurting for work. Like you
No,
don't
I was gonna say that this man works.
I mean,
He stays busy.
I first fell in love with him when he did Warm Bodies, right? Back in the day.
Hmm.
Yes. He was so good in that.
2013, absolute classic. So anyway, I'll stop talking about Nicholas Holt because that's like the opposite of the point here. I'm just feeling disappointed that like, I mean, never meet your heroes. Don't put your faith in anyone, any celebrities. But I just continue to feel disappointed by individuals. Do better.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
To kind of what is cringing you out lately?
I mean, I feel like I immediately want to go with my English child continually walking in here to ask me to help with their video game, even though I specifically told them I cannot help you with that video game. I don't understand it.
Even if
Uh,
even if you weren't busy, it sounds like you don't know how to play it.
I do not. This goes further. So my spouse found in Hawaii at the swap meet the Lego Harry Potter video game, which they have gotten into, and are now like reading. They're 7, by the way, but they're reading the fourth Harry Potter book, and I'm like,
That's great.
great. I feel very conflicted about this.
Yeah, like
It's tough.
at what age do you start to talk to them about big things like supporting authors and stuff?
Or
Yeah, because
even like the more problematic aspects of the series, you know?
I know,
Yeah.
which as you get older, you're just like, oh, there's so many. But
Like,
for them, they're just like, this is a really cool story about magic. And I'm like, well, that's how I
Sure,
yeah,
feel
and
too.
it
that's
is.
valid.
It is a
And it
fun
is.
story about magic. Yeah, that's what makes it so tough, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's easier with someone like if they're reading like Roald Dahl and you're like, "Oh, I don't have
Mhm.
to tell them anything about Roald Dahl because Roald Dahl is dead." Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's
Well,
not out
my
here
my older
harming.
child's
Hmm.
really into Roald Dahl books. They've read a
Yeah.
bunch of them.
It's
But
just
yeah,
like
not
that's
actively
fine.
doing anything.
Yeah.
Uh, but this younger child also told me the other day that I stink, and I was like, great, thanks. He's like, you need to take a bath, Mom. I'm like, okay, great, thank you
Oh, at
so
least she
much.
only meant it literally, you know?
Yes. No, he meant it literally. Like, you smell, you need to take a bath. And I'm like,
That's
okay,
really
great,
funny.
thank you.
That is really funny.
And
Let's
it was not what I expected them to say because I was like, oh, do you want to hug? They're like, yeah, sure. They're hugging me and they're like, you stink, Bob. And I'm like, oh, wow, great. Thank
I
you.
guess
Thank you so much for that.
thanks for your honesty. I mean, I say the same thing to my boyfriend when I'm like, "Hey, just so you know, you smell bad." He's like, "Oh, thank you, I guess." Leela, what's cringing you out?
I went full Amelia Bedelia yesterday at a photo
Oh
Oh.
shoot.
no.
Um, I'm not the sharpest crown in the box, to begin with. So at this advanced stage of pregnancy, we're lucky that I'm here and alive.
She made it. She made it to the recording all on her own.
Somehow, against all odds. So yesterday I was doing a really fun maternity shoot all over Richmond where we live with my very talented photographer friend Trisha, and I am the type of person or the type of model that will take your directions very literally in general, but like at this point I just do exactly what you say. So like her directions are, for example, at one point she was like, all right, why don't you do like a little whistle turn? And I guess that's a term for a small turn. But I whistled and then turned.
Of course you did.
Um,
You thought you were invited to whistle. Of course
I
you
was
did.
like, I'll do it. And then the funniest one was she told me to trot around the corner of a building, and I guess what she meant was slowly walk with my feet pointed, which is something I had been doing all day in her defense. And instead I galloped like a horse. And yeah, she almost fell down the stairs. She was laughing so hard. So
Like, and the funny part of that is like, not that you initially thought that you like, not the initial misinterpretation, but that you were like, and I'm not thinking one step further. I'm just my body's moving. I'm doing the
I'm
thing.
doing, you say gallop, I do gallop. What more want? So yeah, I
That's pretty
really am.
funny.
You got to be careful what you direct me to do these days because I will just do it.
That's really funny. I'm really excited for these photos though. Leila, you want to see my new phone background?
Yeah. Is it? Oh my God, it's me.
It's fucking beautiful. It looks like a Renaissance painting.
I am very obsessed with it. I was like, I look like a river spirit.
You do. I texted this to my mommy, and she was like, "Oh my God, where is she?" And I said, "The middle of the city of
Doesn't
Richmond."
it seem like it could be Ireland? And I'm like, yeah, just don't zoom
Oh,
out. I'm
totally.
like, my
Richmond's
ankles are
crazy.
my ankles are covered in mosquito bites and probably a rash from doo-doo water, but it's fine. It's
Richmond is
all
so
good.
wild. Like this location where you took this photo is on. There's a 6 mile hike in downtown Richmond, and you can never see any buildings except for you can see the skyline at a distance, which is like the most stunning thing.
Huh.
It's the best hike in the world. I'm like, where do I live? Like, what is this?
It is crazy. And it was fun when I was in the water when I got in the creek. There was people on at the bridge overhead that kept crossing and being like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful!
Uh,
Oh my God, I've never seen anything so beautiful! Wow!" And I was just like, "Oh my God, thank
Thank you. Oh my God. I bet you. Okay, so
you! Wow!"
your cringe is now brag.
Yeah, it's so funny how often that happens.
You're only allowed to do that while you're growing and I guess nursing a kid. And then once that's over, you're back to strict cringe policy.
There
Must
will
have
be
missed the
so
memo for
much
the past 3 years.
there will be so much not brag cringe once the child is actually
I
here.
know. Honestly, it's going to be tough to probably pick and choose so that I don't frighten our listeners and our Christina. But
Oh,
I'm not easily
yeah.
frightened.
that's true. You're brave.
So Takenna, do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about what we are going to talk about today and why you wanted to come on to talk about this subject?
Sure. Okay. So, today we're going to talk about how the entire idea of being Mormon has really infiltrated the Twilight book series.
Oh, wow,
And
wow, wow, wow.
it's not like a specific like doctrine thing. It's mostly vibes.
Yeah.
And like to be upfront about this, like I have not been Mormon for over 15 years ago. I left being part of the
Wow.
Mormon church. Yeah, it's been a long time now, but I did grow up in it. And it was really funny because I went to be like, oh, I'm gonna dress like a 2000s Mormon, like as a joke. And I was like, my closet is not Mormon anymore. It's just not.
Good.
And
Okay.
that's great. That's a
You don't
It
great
is.
thing.
you don't have any ankle length khaki skirts?
No, I wish like if I could have been at my dad's house between when you guys first started doing Twilight things and now, I would have searched for pictures of me going to church though, because I definitely had ankle length skirt, like very similar outfits that
Yeah.
I wore. Um, but yeah, and it's funny because now it's like either I have people who knew I was Mormon and I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm not Mormon anymore, and they're either like, oh, we know. Like, we know. Or people find out and they're like really shocked by it. I'm like, this is what I aspire to. This is great. But also that I don't necessarily think Stephanie did any of these things on purpose.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel
A lot
that.
of it, and I kind of want to stress it because I don't necessarily think she's like a bad person outside of being Mormon. And I don't think she meant the like kind of racist things she was saying beyond just like what was indoctrinated into her head.
Hmm.
I totally feel you. We official stance of the podcast. This was the name of one of our Twilight episodes. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to find it. Was like she's a dumb bitch and so are we, something
Hmm.
like that. Um,
Yeah.
about Stephanie Meyer. So like we're with you. Like we don't think she did anything. There's just things, many, 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 many things that she should have thought through, like naming a heartthrob after her brother.
Yes.
The tough
Yeah.
one. Tough to get past that
Yeah.
one.
There's definitely that. There's the obsession with Henry Cavill that's really weird. And then the fact when they
Oh.
cast a black actor as Laurent, they were like, no, he should not be black. There should be no black vampires.
Whoa,
Um,
I didn't even know
Hmm.
that.
yeah, we'll get into that. That's a Mormon
Well,
thing.
because I noted in the books, I was like, they're pale, pale skin. And I remember, like, it literally took me until Breaking Dawn to be like, what? What about black people?
Yeah.
Get
Chalky
into
Be-
that.
skin.
because like I think because of the movies when I read the books I'm like and Laurent is black,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
He's not.
I guess I'm realizing right now that it never says that.
He's not.
Does it
And
not?
she was very mad that they were casting a black actor.
Wow, cry about it,
Well.
idiot. Okay, so to kind of like where do you want to begin? Like do you want to start with some broad strokes? Do you want to what are you thinking here or shall
Um,
I?
so I was gonna offer up, I can start with some basic Mormon doctrine if you want to go from there, or we can just like kind of dive in and see if it comes up to it.
I think a basic Mormon doctrine sounds good, a little foundation for us
Yeah.
secular folk.
Yes.
So I did send you guys some diagrams in chat if
Oh
you want
yes,
to
the
look at them.
diagrams.
I've got them pulled
Because
up.
what I'm going into is not the founding of Mormonism, which a lot of people know from Book of Mormon musical, South Park, like things like that, which is pretty, they don't want to admit it, it's pretty accurate. Um, but this is more about like day-to-day doctrine, like belief system sort of things.
Um, give me just 1 second. When
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out, I have this problem where, oh wait, no, no, that's not a problem. Okay, I'm going to share my screen while you're talking about these things, so
Okay.
our video
Okay.
viewers know what we're talking about. Are you gonna start with the blue
The
one or
plan of
the
salvation. That's the
blue?
planet
Oh,
one,
the
yeah.
plan. Okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it, got
The
it.
realms.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, okay. And I'm going to.
Say mine's a little blurry, but
Oh,
I
is it?
assume you probably know
I
what
don't
those
need it.
words are. Yeah.
Um, the planets. Planet. What is it?
It's the one that's
It's
yellow, blue, and
Okay,
red.
Yeah,
okay,
not the all blue one.
okay, okay,
The
okay,
other
okay.
one.
I'm downloading it so that people can't find you on Discord.
Oh, that's so smart of you.
um, okay. And now I'm sharing it. Are we seeing it?
Almost. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, this one.
Okay.
Okay. So this, for people not looking at it, is what we call
Wait,
it the plan of salvation.
which by the way, I'm gonna pop this maybe on our Instagram, but I'll definitely like put it on our
Show
YouTube in our
notes.
YouTube video. You can't put an image in a show note, Leela. How many times do I have to tell you?
That's just
Can I
so
do it in a
crazy to me.
comment?
I can put it in our Google Drive, link to it in the show notes, and you can also just check out our YouTube where you'll probably be able to find this.
You
Match
can
your
also
match your
Google
timestamps.
plan of salvation.
Yep.
It'll come up.
Copyright
Um, s-
1950 by Leonidas Devon Mecham in Salt Lake City.
oh, interesting. There was a lot of options. I just felt like this one encompassed what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
So this is the kind of like life cycle of the soul, I'm gonna say, that the Mormon church teaches. So you start in the spirit life up at the top there, the first estate, and that is like pre earth. Everyone has a soul, everyone is there, and there was a great discussion about how what the plan for going to Earth is going to be. And like, there's like free agency, you get to decide. And then there's Lucifer, who is like, no, everyone should just be told what to do and have to follow, and everyone will come back and it'll be great. And they're like, no, everyone has to choose and like decide. And that's why he got kicked out and sent to outer darkness, by the way, is because he wanted to make everyone do things.
Is that Lucifer's story across other denominations, or is that a Mormon thing?
I don't know about that specific version of it, but I mean, it's kind of similar things that Lucifer disagreed with God's plan for
Okay.
Earth.
Yeah, it's Lucifer. That specific one uh Mormony, but Lucifer basically was kicked out of heaven because yeah, he disagreed with God's plan and wanted, I want to say, like, I can't remember if it was less free will or more free will, but
Less. Oh, wait, I
Less.
don't know for you guys. For
yeah,
us, it was
less. But
less.
then in that case, why in the garden was he like, maybe you should eat this yummy fruit and then you can open your eyes and decide things for yourself? And then he got in big
Whoa,
trouble for that.
that's the first time religion has ever had like a
This
conflict.
is the biggest plot hole that I have not noticed my entire life.
I'm sure that any Christian would say, well, it's just because he was mad at God and he wanted to get back at God. But I'm like, I don't know.
His plan was the Garden of Eden, like
Anyway,
which Mormons believe was in Missouri, by the way.
right.
Um,
That's so funny. And where is there a specific
Whoa,
place in
cool.
Missouri
yes, there
where,
is a
okay,
place, there's a placard. Yeah,
there are
Sure.
a lot
in
of
Missouri.
Mormos in Missouri? Okay, I
No,
shouldn't call them Mormos.
that's more going into like the history of it, that they kept getting kicked out of places
And going
for
west and west.
persecution slash being grifters. Um,
Putting the Garden
and
of Eden in Missouri just smacks of someone who has never left the country. Like,
Yeah, they're like, well, this is as good as it gets, probably.
well, and I mean the fact that they were living in Missouri when it was revealed that that's where the Garden of Eden was, like,
It
guys, I just realized capital of the world right here. Just
was
figured it
actually
out.
right
Right
here.
where I'm
Yeah.
standing.
yeah, so anyway, you are born and you like get a physical body, you go to the second estate, which is the earth. And you have to make your decisions there, whether like how you're gonna like get into the different degrees of heaven. And so there's 3 degrees of heaven. They are equated to different solar lights. So you have, which you can tell this was created a long, long time ago because the celestial kingdom is equated to the light of the stars. So very little light. And you go there for things like murder and having sex before marriage and
Oh
Equally
yeah.
bad.
Equally bad, yeah.
equally bad things. And then there's terrestrial kingdom, which is like you're a really good person, but you weren't Mormon, and that's like the light of the
Sure.
moon. And
Okay.
then you have the celestial kingdom, which is the light of the sun, and that's like Mormons and like, but you have to have achieved all the things. And inside the celestial kingdom, there's 3 degrees of glory that are like the third one is for like the very best of the best and everything. And it's like everything's supposed to be better. And like to know, I was always told that all of these were better than Earth.
All
Celestial
of the
Kingdom. The
celestial.
Like all
the
of them,
one
they were all better than Earth.
the 100-year detour in hell.
Yeah, I didn't get taught that one as much. Not
Okay.
not a lot of hell, but
Okay.
because you get the outer darkness, but I was never that scared of it because I was always like told the only way to go to outer darkness is to be someone who had a perfect knowledge of Christ and then rejected it. And I was like, well, I never really believed it, so it couldn't be me. Um,
I also want to point out that the list of people who go to the low way to the celestial kingdom are the dishonest, liars, adulterers, whoremongers, and sorcerers.
seems about right, yeah. Yep.
What I
Yeah, and
wouldn't
it's
give
just
to be
like
a
what is
whoremonger.
it's really like one of those things that they're like, and they tell you like if you the only way to be with your family forever because like eternal marriage is so you see there with the temple celestial marriage is like the
Yes.
highest goal achievement. The only way to get into heaven is to be part of an eternal marriage. And it's the only way you can keep your family with you in an afterlife. Like everyone has to be part of it. And they do tell you, like, if your kids or your family or whatever doesn't make it to the celestial kingdom, you can still go visit them in the terrestrial kingdom, or maybe they'll be like servants in your household. But
Cinderella type
Dude, I
situation.
can
the only way
imagine
you get to procreate in the afterlife is being in the celestial kingdom. And
I
yeah,
can
and it's
imagine like the arguments among siblings that are like, dude, you're gonna be my servant in the afterlife, you idiot.
Yeah.
It's mostly a lot of mom guilt because a lot gets put on the moms about how
Yeah.
it's your fault if your children aren't staying in the church because that was your responsibility as the child rearing.
Yeah,
And
that's
like
Mm.
it's
fucked.
really, really harsh for moms who it's like I've failed. I've fundamentally failed as a mother because my child has left the religion. And now because of that, they are lost to me for like forever,
For eternity.
for eternity.
For always
Yeah.
and eternity.
And it's like one of those things like with my dad who I'm like how are you still in the church? But at the same time I'm like his wife has died and it's like one of those things where it's like I get why you're staying in because you'd have
Mm.
to there's so much like sunk cost fallacy at that point that you
Yes.
having to reject so much and
Kind of like
like giving
exit
up that.
fees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily real money, but the exit fee of losing your community.
Hmm.
And your way
And
of
it's really
life.
hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard because a lot of these things, like, and it's really funny. They're walking back on a lot of the like requirements now, like the special underwear, the garments is smaller than it used to be, and the word of wisdom is like, oh, you can have coffee, it's fine. That's not what it was actually about the entire
Ooh.
time. But like the big one to me has always been tithing because the other ones, yes, they're controlling how you live, which not a cult, right? But
Sure.
tithing is giving up 10% of your income, and they will literally tell you like it's better. You can not pay your mortgage 3 times before they kick you out.
Dude, 10%
Like,
10% of my income gone would fucking kill me.
Yeah,
Like
that's not nothing.
my parents have never had savings, and I'm like, but they have always paid 10% of their income to this church
Hmm.
their entire lives. Because my family is Mormon, like walked across the country in hand carts, Mormon.
Wow. Okay.
On both sides, like on most of the sides of my family.
Okay.
And and so like yeah, so like
That's
they're
a real
both my
sunk
parents their
cost.
entire life. Yes. But their entire lives they've paid the 10%, they've done it and they've like and it's there's a lot of like crap in that, but it's just one of those things that I'm like, if you had instead put that 10% into a bank account and just saved it, there's so much you could be doing for yourself, so much you wouldn't have to worry about, like, yeah. But that's another issue. So, any
Yeah.
questions about all of this plan of salvation?
Um, I just have like the briefest of asides. And we this is like it's fine if you don't know anything about this. I checked your story graph today to see if you would have anything to say about this. But you're talking a little bit about how like the Mormon church is in very small ways like liberalizing itself with like
Hmm.
coffee and like whatever. I was wondering, just if you know anything about Brandon Sanderson, or if you have any
I
opinions about the most famous Mormon author in our world.
so I have refused to read him, and I generally refuse at this point to read authors who are Mormon
Okay.
because I know they are giving 10% of all of their income into a religion that I believe damages the world.
Okay. Got it. Heard and
So
heard.
I've heard a lot of good things about Brandon Sanderson's books, and I went to read one, and I was just like, I don't want
You don't
to,
want
I
to.
don't want
That's
to like it. I don't
a-
want to be a
and
part of
that's all
it.
it comes down to. I've heard people defend reading his works by saying that he is working to liberalize the Mormon church. And but to
I,
you it doesn't even really matter.
I mean, it's one of those hard things, I still stay at Marriott hotels, and
Are
so I'm not
those
like
Mormon?
perfect with it. Those are extremely Mormon. There's a Book of Mormon in
Yes,
every single
I
Marriott
you're
hotel
right.
room.
You're right, because Jason has taken one before because he was raised non-religiously and he's very curious about
I'm the same.
religious
I'm the
texts.
same way. I'm like, what could be in here?
It's the worst
Okay,
fucking book. I've studied it. If any of you want to like know about things in it, just
another
ask,
episode.
but it's terrible. Ugh,
That's
I'm
cringy
not reading it,
literature for
but I'll
sure.
talk about it.
Yeah. Um,
Okay,
for
thank
me,
you.
yeah. So for me, what about when I see that that the freeway to the celestial kingdom includes loyalty? What does that look like for a Mormon? I mean, does that involve? I'm assuming probably just not criticizing the church in any way, like probably keeping some of those, trying to keep some of those more embarrassing qualities secret. Yeah, like what is, because
Yeah,
that's loyal. When I see loyalty, that says that's very culty to me.
Yeah.
it's very hard. And I remember I once described to one of my friends because she was really concerned about getting married. And I was like, well, because I'd grown up Mormon and like I'd learned the principles and like she was really concerned about it because her parents had been divorced. And I was like, as long as you're committed to the idea of being married, like your marriage is gonna work. Like you will work at it. And it's just like the idea of it. And it's like one of those things that it's just about being loyal to the church pretty much above all. It's like they
Mm.
tell you about how in your marriage there's three people. There's you and there's your spouse and there's the Lord. And like you
And that's where the polygamy comes from.
they're pulling back on some, well, that's not where the polygamy comes from. That's an episode we could do. But they're pulling back on some of it to like hide it, but like that's what it used to be, when I was growing up, we went to 3 hours of church every week, and then I
Mm.
went to an hour of youth group a week, and I went to an hour of Sundays of Bible study every day in high school. Um, and like as an adult, you do the same things. Like you are cleaning the church, you're going for extra meetings, you're part of the choir. It's just all of your time and energy is being
It's
taken up by the church.
it seems like under like based on what you're saying, a lot of that loyalty, maybe every single second of that loyalty is demonstrated through service.
Hmm.
Yes, that's a really big thing about it is your service, your commitment, your willingness
Duty.
to do have your life be committed to it.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I know. a good amount about Mormonism as famously pod lore. I dated a Mormon. I was in bands. I was in several different bands with many different Mormons. Um, Talented and kind people generally.
Hmm.
Um,
Musically
I
talented.
musically talented. Um, yeah, I think that there's the reason that everybody who is not Mormon always says, yeah, like they believe some crazy stuff, but they are like the nicest people you literally will ever meet. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's because um of like the brownie points system that you need to be able to get to
Yes.
the celestial kingdom, right? So
Yes.
like Christianity is supposed to not be that way. It's supposed to be like you can't just like do something terrible and then like be a good person and like get away with it. It's more
Mm.
complicated than
Like
that, you
it's not
know?
video game points.
Yes. Um, brownie points won't get you into heaven. I feel like is something
No.
that I like heard all the time. Whereas that is like not the case at all. I think that's why like Mormons will end up, I feel like whenever I'm in Richmond, like, and I'm at like this Murder Kroger, for example, locals, at a specific like Kroger grocery store, where there tends to be a lot of like unhoused people in the parking lot,
Hmm.
people who try to talk to you and
Hmm.
capture you in conversations. It's the Mormons that are stuck in those conversations.
Yes.
Um, because they take everything as an opportunity to uh I guess like serve, right? To
Proselytize.
serve, to proselytize and to serve their church. Um,
Mostly it's to proselytize.
okay, okay.
It seems like service, but it's not.
Yes,
The
okay.
second you make it very clear you will never join their religion, they will not talk to you. And it's really heartbreaking for a lot of people because they thought they'd made genuine connections
Yeah, yeah,
and they
that's
they
tough.
did not.
That's sad.
I have a hard time with it because to me they're so fake, and it's one of those things that I have recently seen in myself because my mom was always like this. She was always telling everyone, and she was really a genuinely friendly person, and she really cared about people. But a lot of people in the church, they don't. They don't care. Um,
Mm.
it's just how they're
Like
supposed to be,
nice,
and you're supposed to
nice,
make
not
friends.
kind, right?
Yes, and
Hmm.
but I grew up near Baltimore, so to me, it was kind, not nice.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Okay,
is how
Mm-hmm.
fair.
and you go to Utah and it's very kind and everyone's very friendly and everyone's like everyone's so friendly and I'm like but they don't care because I've been there. I went to BYU. I lived in Utah. I visited Utah and people they don't care. They're not
Mm.
nice. They don't want to spread outside their circle. And that was really a big part of my downfall was going there and realizing I'm like, oh, I had connections with people at church, but now that I don't need that, like I don't like being here.
Yeah.
Don't get along with these people.
Yeah, I feel
But
that. I mean, I don't, but I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Do you want to look at the next infographic that I
yes, and
sent?
this is to illustrate two very horrifying things.
Are
And the
y'all
first is
seeing this yet or no?
not yet,
No.
Okay.
but I can talk about it while you're pulling it up. The
Thank you.
first thing I wanted to illustrate with this one is the organization of the Mormon Church, in that it is crazy organized. Everything has its place. Every person is in a specific spot. They have someone to answer to. They have someone to report, like someone who answers to them, someone they answer to.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they give this power of the patriarchy to men at the age of 12.
Of course.
So
Yikes.
you have at the top there, you have the prophet. This is about the priesthood. And this does kind of come into talking about Twilight and how, weirdly, I saw this and I was like, okay, that's really true about how vampirism spreads.
I was thinking this
Ah.
exact same
It's
thing.
very
Yeah.
related to the patriarchy. And there's two key things. I might bring it up at the end of this. Yeah, I probably will, just because I'll forget about it otherwise.
Yeah.
But so you have the prophet, and they go out to the 70, and then you go down and you have, like, if you go down, you have the wards and the bishops and the stake presidents are above that. You have the stake presidents who are above, like, the men priesthood holders who are like the high priests and the elders. And then you have the bishop who's like over one congregation. And they are in charge of the teachers and the priests and the teachers and the deacons. And the deacons are 12-year-old boys. And
Oh.
they get to do things like pass the sacrament.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the teachers are 14-year-old boys, and I forget what specific things they get when they become teachers. But then the priests are 16 to 18-year-old boys, and they can baptize people. Um, and it
Okay.
just, I didn't have any boys in my household. I just had me and my sister, so I don't know how it was, but it does give this weird, like, slight authority even over your mother once, like, you get the priesthood.
Oh,
Mm.
hell no.
Because women, they always try to be like, oh, they get the privilege, like the power through their spouse. Like it's always through their spouse, like through the men in their lives. But just like such a like patriarchy defined religion.
Yeah.
And like from such a young age for men, giving them these powers and privileges above the women around them. That's like, why would you want to leave that?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is it's kind of like it's like a trick with children is that you
Hmm.
can create a facade of giving them like a role of authority and it empowers them to do things. I just read this in a book where there was like big group of people, all ages, and someone was trying to organize them. And to kind of maybe you also just read this book. And like there was two teenage boys who were kind of like not paying attention, fucking about. And so like an older man went up to them and was like, "Hey, I actually could really use you guys' help. I know the like, little kids look up to you. So I was hoping you could help me organize these people, you know, and like it empowers them by giving them authority, which can be used for
Hmm.
good or not good.
It's
Yeah.
a strategy you can use and when you have like a big group of kids in general, like for good for sure, to
Yeah.
help with behaviors and things. Now looking at this chart to kind of
Yeah.
my boyfriend in high school, he was 17 or 18,
Hmm.
probably 17. He was an elder. Um
Really? Okay. So he would have been 18.
18. Okay. So that's and I remember thinking that was odd. I'm like, my teenage boyfriend is a church elder. I don't, but it must not be. Is that just like kind of a
So
title you
elder
get?
is like the younger men. And it was really weird where I grew up. I grew up in a military congregation. And so like there weren't a lot of older men in our
Hmm.
congregation. And so like my dad when he was in like his 30s was like the high priest status,
Oh,
which is like
wow.
usually like men above 60. But
Okay.
Okay, got it.
elders is like the 20, 30-year olds, like that age.
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
usually get that when you're going on your mission.
So,
Okay.
am I too old to be an elder?
No.
Okay. Okay,
Well,
cool.
you're a woman, so it never
No,
happened.
of
But
course. This is a complete illusion, just an age joke about myself.
well,
But
and there is like this does go through like there's the Aaronic priesthood, which is the deacons, teachers, and priests, and then there's the Melchizedek priesthood, which is the elders and high priests. And they're like the different levels of priesthood that have the different abilities. So the Aaronic is like only like what John the Baptist had to like baptize people. And then I'm trying to remember. I forget
Okay.
who departed the Melchizedek. Because this is, again, like angels came back and gave them these different levels of priesthood.
Of course. The angels are very interested in like
The Mormon
organizational
church, yes.
management.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now I know certainly more strict branches of Mormonism do not allow girls or women to go on missions, but the ones near me
Oh.
did.
No, they all
Um,
do.
they all do? Okay,
It's
okay,
what is they view as better is getting married.
Of course.
okay.
Of
Yeah.
course.
But if you're not married yet, a mission is a great opportunity. And it's a really good, how do I say this nice? Should I not say it nice?
No, don't say it nice.
It's a really good brainwashing technique to have
Hmm.
your 18-year-olds go out and have to. That's why missionaries used to have to be 19. They're now like and women had to be 21 because again, better option getting married. And now they're like all 19, 18. Because they're like, if these young people get secluded from their social
Hmm.
circles and are only have religion around them and like going out on the mission and the rejection is actually a huge part of it is how it keeps people in because it makes you think you're like being persecuted against and that you're like upholding this thing.
Oh, Tina, your mic stopped
Yeah, your
working.
mic, stop.
Well, that's because I hit the off button, obviously.
I knew it.
Um, so to kind of tell us about why this reminds you of vampires.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd seen this recently. I might have written it down somewhere, but I forget where, but or I saw it several places. So there's two ideas, and they're both disgusting.
Okay,
Um,
can't wait.
the first is so the Cullens assumed that all vampires were barren. Vampires were barren, right? Because none
Yeah.
of the women ever got pregnant.
Sure.
But
Yes.
that wasn't true. The men still held the ability to impregnate people and create half vampires.
Oh my God, because of all that weird stuff in Breaking Dawn about the sex stuff.
About like
Yes.
the one frozen seed or whatever.
So that's one look at it, but then she had some other guy do it multiple times. So that's just
Yeah.
bullshit. The male
Yeah.
vampires have the ability to
Well,
impregnate
they just
Oh.
human women.
they just have to get their balls warm or whatever.
But it
Yeah,
has to
go
be a
live in the
human
Amazon.
woman,
A human woman,
ideally.
not a vampiric woman. She is barren. She cannot
Baron.
pass on it.
Yeah. Okay.
The second is that there are mentioned four have vampire children. Three are girls. One is a man. And the male one is the only one who has venom in his teeth and can turn other people not into half vampires, but into vampires.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like
I'm
the power
seeing.
only passes
Only
to
passes
the
to males. They're the
boys.
Yeah.
only
Okay.
ones that like can turn them. And even if you look at it, even in the book, like she never mentions a female vampire turning someone, except for maybe like Victoria, who's
That's
like,
that's the kind of thing where you said that you don't think that Stephanie Meyer did like almost any of this on purpose. And I'm with you because she does
mhm,
this she strikes me as a vibrantly creative woman who is not very thoughtful, not very critically thoughtful. But that's the
mhm.
kind of thing where I'm like 4 books in, how do you not realize that that's what you're doing and like where it comes from? It feels so obvious to me.
I kind of get it just because a lot in my life I didn't notice things like that. Like I wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
I never did notice. I started reading these books. I mean, I never went into it, but I started reading these books as a teenager and I read every single one pretty much as they came out.
Yeah.
And I've read them. I reread books, so it's not like I'm obsessed with this specific series, but I've probably read them upwards of 10 times, which is
Yeah.
why I didn't really need to read them to do this.
Sure, they're locked
Um,
in.
yeah.
They're in
But
your
it's like
long-term storage.
it's one of those things that it was one of the, like I think because Stephanie Meyer's the one who wrote them, they're a very acceptable fantasy novel for teenage Mormon girls.
Yeah. It makes
Yes.
sense.
And
Everything's very palatable because, like you said,
yes.
like it just you're just like, sure, sure, this makes sense, of course.
Hmm.
Well, and I think when we're talking about someone who's indoctrinated in and has grown up in an organized religion like this, let's call it that, you're taught not to fundamentally question things. You're taught not
Yes.
to dig too deep. That's not the type of vibe that's cool here. So she's not taught to think critically about like, maybe it's fucked up that like men have ultimately more power. Like she's taught to
Mhm.
think like that's just the way that it is. That's how
I
a good Mormon should be.
That's really a big part of it, yeah.
I kind of think that it's like she was not taught to think critically, full stop, you know?
Yeah,
Yes.
Because
I would
I mean,
everything about these books, even the stuff that trips us up that is not Mormon, it still
yeah.
just comes from a deep lack of thought.
so that's something that I really wanted to get into with just the general vibes of the book. The first
Yeah.
one is not just that you're not supposed to look for outside sources, it's that you're genuinely taught that outside sources are anti-Mormon.
Mm,
And
okay.
the reason they say those things is because they're trying to turn you away. And it's lies,
Mm-hmm.
but it's trying, and like that's gone back to the beginning that there was a translation of the Book of Mormon that got kind of stolen and spread around. And so he rewrote it and he was like, we'll never have that one because they were going to change it and try to prove that we were lying because we couldn't do it exactly again. But they changed it, and that's why we're not doing it again, not because I can't reproduce the thing I made up. Um, but like, so it's
Very
been like that
convenient.
since. Yes,
Yeah.
it's been that way since the beginning. They're like, yes, this next book, which happens to say the exact same things but slightly differently. And this is why, because God always knew that this was going to happen. Legit thing we were taught.
Sure,
Um,
sure. God always knew.
but it's like, yeah, it's just you're taught like anything that's going against you. And so really like hitting your head against a rock sort of situation, trying to talk to anyone who's really in the religion. Because if you try to give them any source, so like it's a really constant communication, the ex-Mormon community. What are church sources that I can show that show this thing that happened?
Right. Okay.
Because if it's not a church source, they're not going to look at it even. They're gonna be like, it's lies.
Yeah. So is it like a Mormon perspective that like everything that everyone outside of Mormonism is saying is basically lies? Or is it only stuff that seems to want to turn you from the doctrine and the morals and stuff like that?
So this is another thing I want to get in. It's very like the Cullens as vampires are definitely the Mormon representation in the book that they're very
Mm.
peculiar, right? That's always the thing you're told as a Mormon is we're a very peculiar people. We're
But
different from everyone and we're going to be
peculiar,
persecuted because of it.
but they're framed as superior.
Yes. Yes,
Hmm.
peculiar, but that peculiarness is superior.
Yeah.
And it's not that the other ones are wrong, but you even see it somehow with the ones that are up in Canada. They're like
Yeah.
cousins.
The
That they're
Denali vampires.
like I would almost say that those are almost like the FLDS like
Oh,
rendition.
interesting.
Because they're
Oh.
correct, but they're not entirely correct. Or the
Whoa.
Reformed or the RLDS, the ones that followed Emma Smith. But but yeah, because
Okay.
they're like given this like, oh, they're correct, they're vegan, they're vegetarians, but they're not entirely correct. They're not as good as us. They're not as good as the Collins.
Of course, who could be?
Um, so I know we talked a little bit about the prophet. So it seems like at the top of
Yes.
the pyramid here, which I mean it's a very organized pyramid, but that is what this
Yeah.
um, is Jesus.
Yes.
But
Naturally.
you did mention a prophet. So I know in FLDS, which mainstream Latter-day Saints do not like to be mixed up with,
No.
but in FLDS, their main prophet is still um, what's his name? Dang it, Warren Jeffs, um,
Oh, in prison, yeah.
who is in prison for multiple counts of child abuse and rape, amongst other
Oy.
things.
Among other things.
Lots of proof.
Ay, 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 ay.
But that's their main profit. Do you guys, not, I shouldn't say you guys, does LDS have a main prophet that is not Joseph Smith and Jesus and like the main Bible guys? Is there like a
Oh,
human vessel
yes.
okay.
Always.
Who's
Always.
who is that guy? Surely it's not a lady.
Who is that
No,
guy?
no. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. Fun fact, the Book of Mormon musical, every time there's a new prophet, they update the
Oh my
thing.
God. That's
Ugh,
so funny.
yeah.
So when I was last Mormon, it was Thomas S. Monson. He died a while ago.
Thomas S.
It might
Monson.
be Oakes. It might be
Is it
Dallin
like
H.
is
Oakes.
it like the fucking Avatar? They reincarnate it like the prophet into like
No,
the
no, no,
next
no, no.
guy?
So, okay, so you're a priesthood holder, you become a bishop, you become a stake president, and then you get attached to like one of the quorums of the 70. And then you get moved up to the first quorum of the 70, and then from there you become an apostle.
Oh,
There's
it's
12
okay.
apostles.
It's just a management promotion.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's mostly based on seniority.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Sure.
12 apostles, and there's 12 apostles plus the three people in the head. So there's a prophet and his two counselors. So that's here, and I you can't see me pointing. It's right there in the middle thing. That
Yeah.
whole middle section is
Okay.
what I'm describing.
Yes.
Um, and so the prophet has his two counselors, and below them is the quorum of the 12 apostles. And once you get into that, like you're there till you die. Like you don't get kicked out of any of the positions really. And so whenever the prophet dies, they meet and there's the new prophet. It's always the most senior apostle. And then he picks his two counselors from the other at that point 14 people.
Okay, sure.
Because a new apostle has to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all real old. And it's one of those things where like they're not paid. And I'm like, yeah, but they don't pay for anything.
Yeah.
They fly around the world on a jet and it's
They're like
yeah.
celebrities.
Actually,
Um,
the wildest thing, I want to tell you guys this. It's so fun. One of the more recent prophets since I've left, like it's a later one. I think it was Oaks. His wife died, and miraculously, there was a 50-year-old virgin that he married.
oh.
Oh, okay. Because remarrying as a woman is like, is that like impossible? Like, what happens if you get widowed
Oh,
as
this
a?
is fun. So you get sealed in the temple, right? It's for time and all eternity, and you have to get like special permission to get like an actual temple divorce. You have to prove like really severe abuse and things like that to get an actual temple divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And women can only be sealed to one man. Men can be sealed to like so many wives.
Sure. I mean, naturally.
And it is now they're like be like, "Oh, women can get sealed a second time, but in the afterlife you're gonna have to choose."
Ugh.
Okay. All right. So looking at this, I would say that if we're talking about the Volturi, I would say that
Oh,
Arrow would definitely be like the
Well,
high prophet,
no,
right?
okay.
Carlisle is the
I
prophet.
was just
The
about to say,
Volturi
so
are something
Oh,
else.
wait,
okay,
okay.
Wait,
Can
okay.
I
do you
can I
know?
well, I just
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I have like my theory. So I was going to lead us down this train of thought of like
Okay.
you would think that the Volturi would go at the top of this, but the problem with the Volturi, two things. One, they eat blood, so they are not like pure.
True.
They're
And
they're a
then
different one.
Uh-huh.
two, they want to keep vampirism a secret. They
Hmm.
don't want to proselytize about it. So then I had this brain blast, and I wanted to ask you, Takenna, does Mormonism hate the Catholic Church?
Yes, so much.
Oh my God, I figured it
Oh.
out. I
Because
figured it
yes,
out.
the Italian vampires that are this secret head of all of the religion, I mean all of vampires, all of Christianity, are the Catholics.
And
What?
like everything they do is like coming from a like a position of power. It's like not
Yeah.
it's not actually moral, which like I'm not saying that any of this critique of the Catholic Church is wrong. And they are like imposing their will on you even when you don't agree with their will. They're not trying to see reason. And yeah, they're
Yeah.
vicious.
No, it's like one of those things that they're saying they have the right tools, they have the right elements, but they're fundamentally wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're choosing to be.
So, I definitely was also thinking, like, I wasn't thinking of Carlisle as the prophet because I didn't have this like foundational knowledge that you've just shared with
Right.
us. But when you start thinking about Mormonism and you start thinking about the Cullens, it's very clear that Carlisle has a cult.
Yes. Yes.
He is the charismatic leader of a very special cult. Can you elaborate on your positioning of Carlisle as the prophet?
Yeah. No, so it's one of those things that he has a lot of similarities to Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormon Church, including the time frame that he lived in. And it's like, and the spiritual uprising of the time he lived in is very similar to like how the Mormon Church was established. And it's like one of those things that just this representation of him being like, I didn't want this. It was like forced on me.
Yeah.
And I've been like, it's like my burden to like like save
And
these
like
people into
yeah,
this.
it's my burden to bring others into my burden,
Yes.
which is always like the number one thing that rubbed us wrong about Carlisle when reading the
Hmm.
text is that he, especially when you learn about Rosalie's story and how much she
Yes.
does not fucking want to be here, and Esme's story about how she tried
Yeah.
to kill herself.
Hmm.
I was thinking about Esme especially because of the fact that in Mormonism you have to be sealed to
Yes.
your
A man.
eternal
Hmm.
partner. Or as a man, you need to be sealed too. Like as a man, you can't get into
Yes.
the celestial kingdom either, right? Unless you have that
No,
that
and there's
Hmm.
this whole tricky
marriage.
thing. I will say the My little plan of salvation didn't go over the most interesting part, which is the oh my gosh, I've forgotten what it's called. But it's kind of like purgatory. It's the Mormon version of purgatory where you go there and you wait and it you gotta wait for the second coming and it's like one of those things. It's why Mormons do work for the dead in the temples. Because you can choose to accept the work done for you after you lived and like
Whoa. Oh. Okay,
it's
life
like
after
George
death, very
Washington has
much.
been baptized like 20,000 times, you know? Like,
What?
His ghost is
yeah,
like, leave me alone.
yeah, no, and it's one of those things
That's
that, like, there's definitely.
crazy.
So when I was 12, like, even when I was 12, I started going to the temple, and I couldn't go to the full temple, but I started going to do baptisms for the dead, because that was a part I could participate in. So I would go, and I was a proxy for some dead woman to get her baptism ordinance done.
That is really
You should look up the picture of the baptism. It's like this tub that's held up by like 12 oxen, like statue oxen, and you stand in it. And like Mormon baptism's very specific. You have to be like dunked under for like several seconds, completely submerged. Like I remember when I was baptized at 8 years old, my dad stood on my feet because if your feet rise up and your toes come out, you have to do it again. He didn't want me to have to do that.
um
But
are we seeing
yeah.
it?
Oh,
Yes.
there it is in
That
the middle
one. You see
there.
the tub, yeah.
That is pretty serious.
That's something about about Mormon decor is it's very Trumpian to me. I can't there's something about
Yeah.
it.
It's like
Hey,
it's like
they pre-exist him so much.
it's like
True, true.
it's ornate but also like so beige.
I know. So,
Hmm.
Tina, I did want to ask, you grew up in this area. Did you have any like thoughts on the DC temple? Like on the
Uh
Beltway?
it's I always I mean, I was a little kid who
Did you
was
ever
not
see it?
raised religiously, so I was always just like, "Whoa, that's a really cool building."
I heard a lot of from my friends that they were like, "Oh, Cinderella's castle," because
Yeah,
the
like
DC temple is very better looking than most of
and
the temples.
and like I would just my parents would be like, "Oh yeah, that's the temple. That's the Mormon temple," and we'd be like, "Great, that's a great thing." Don't know what that means. So I was just like, "That's a really pretty one." Um, so yeah, that's the end of thought right there. It is
That's
really
fun.
pretty.
It's really pretty. It's pretty building.
um,
There's a giant temple really close to right down the street from where I grew up in Glen Allen, Virginia. It's newer.
Oh, okay. Must be.
Um, they built it in like 2010 maybe.
Oh.
Um, and it is I think it's just like what an eyesore.
That has to be one of the cookie cutter ones at that point.
I think so. It's got Moroni or whatever his name is
They
on the
all have
top of the
that, yeah.
temple. Okay. And it's just like a bunch of like quaint small businesses and then this like giant like
Yeah. At a certain point, they stopped
temple.
hiring new architects and were just like, just put up the same one.
Save money.
It does have
Um,
that vibe.
so I wanted to ask Takenna, okay, I wanted to go back to this image,
Oh,
the
yeah. The plan of salvation.
plan of salvation. I wanted to talk about this kind of like because I think it's implied, but I want to make sure we spell it out. This comparison of this like pathway to your celestial kingdom and
Yeah.
like basically like the analogy of like the Cullens being so good that they
Hmm.
are allowed to spend eternal bliss as a family. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, so that's kind of straightforward. Like, is there anything you wanted to like add to that?
So, I mean, it's obviously one of the ways that is most highlighted in the books about the infiltration of Mormon doctrine is about eternal marriage and who gets to have it and like the ideal of it and why they're because they're better for it and like they're not flighty. Like even look like at Jessica and Mike who like get together, break up, get together, break up, and it's not like stable. Like she doesn't really show any stable relationships outside of like the imprinting.
Mm-hmm.
and the like vampire relationships. Like everyone else is
Yeah.
flighty. Like her Bella's parents don't stay together. Like everything is like there's
Yeah.
no real stable relationships shown on the page.
Because
And
it
it's
can
like one of those
only
things
be
that's
truly stable if you're aiming for eternity.
and it's with that one person. Like I will say for her, she doesn't go into any of the polygamy sort of sidetracks, which a lot of people don't. They like to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is
But yeah,
illegal, right? In
yes.
this country. So I get why people are like, and we don't do that.
There
Which
are
is why they don't
loopholes though, right?
actively practice. Well, I mean, because if you're still sealed to someone in marriage when they die, it's still polygamy if you marry someone else
I
after they
see.
die.
Okay. Got it.
But
But
like there
legally, you're death till you part.
right. And then there are certain states like Utah and Arizona, right, that are you can't legally marry more than one person, but you're not going to get run out of the state, basically. Um,
I feel like that's everywhere, kind of. I mean, polyamory is pretty in right
no,
now.
there are certain states where like really intense like FLDS members, for example, have to like
Oh,
leave.
interesting. Okay.
It
Like
becomes a
the
problem because
Duggars.
it's not polyamory, you know?
Yeah.
It's something
No.
different. And it goes back to the fundamental like roots of the church is that it's a choice of the man, and you see it in the Twilight series, and it's not like explicit, but it's just something that happens that the women don't really have a lot of choices. So you talk about Rosalie and Esme and them just being changed, and it's not really their choice, and it's actually not what they wanted. They
Yeah.
like Esme was actively choosing to die, and Rosie was like, "This isn't what I want. Like I
Yeah.
would not choose this. Don't
The
choose this."
the Esme thing is
It's very
unforgive
upsetting. It's really
unforgivable.
upsetting. It is.
No, and then the fact that she's basically married to her like controller, like abuser almost seems harsh, but it's not really,
And she is
for
so obsessed
eternity.
with him. Yes.
And she
It's
doesn't do anything,
creepy.
and they're like her superpower is her like maternal instincts, and it's just like that is really, really harsh for someone that died because her
Yes.
child died and she couldn't get over it.
So that's the next thing I want to talk about is like the glorification, no disrespect to the two mamas in the call, but like the glorification of motherhood and like this like
Yeah.
sacred fertility. I was thinking about how Esme, as you mentioned, her
Hmm.
Hmm.
only thing is that she tried to kill herself. A man said no. She said, okay, so happy to start a family with you. The fact that like Rosalie's also like only character trait is that she's a bitter bitch because she like can't have a baby and because she
Hmm.
was violently raped before she died. But they make it seem like it's about the baby, not the
Yeah.
violent rape. Um, and then like also the fact that like Bella does not like kids, is not thinking about kids, and then when she gets pregnant it's like the only thing that matters to her. And I am like so not saying that this is not a realistic journey for a woman to go on.
Hmm.
I am like just deeply not saying that. And I will say that I like respect the books for being like, is abortion an option? Because I was telling Leela that that almost never comes up in even contemporary romance novels.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Mm.
just like this, what do y'all mamas make of this? And especially you to kind of connecting back to religion, what do y'all make of this glorification of motherhood in particular? Because I do not think fatherhood is looked at in the same lens
No.
necessarily.
No. I mean, you definitely get this view of like being punished for having sex, even when it wasn't your fault, even when it was in marriage. And it's just like one of those things that, like, you're talking about the books, and you have Edward, who is like admitted murderer who goes around killing people because he thinks they're bad people, but he hasn't had sex yet. And it's just
So
like
he's
one of those
still a
things that
good
it's like,
guy.
yes, and it's like one of those things that like I honestly feel like it is the best metaphor for how premarital sex is presented to people in the church, that it is just as bad as murdering someone.
Yeah.
And
Like
it's
all
like,
sin is equal almost.
no,
No.
almost that having sex is worse than having killed
Okay, it's
someone,
specific. It's
especially as a
specific.
woman, like having
That's
that choice to have had
intense.
sex.
That's
And like
intense.
none of the women in this book really chose to have sex before marriage, except for Bella, who didn't get to do it because,
She
her partner's
begged
like,
for
no.
it.
Yeah.
But she did it the right way
Hmm.
ultimately, and it was because her man told her to do it the right way, and
Yeah.
she is rewarded with this perfect child
With a
who
baby.
who could have, we all thought that baby was going to be a monster, but she wasn't. She's an angel.
But Esme and Rosalie, they picked the wrong guys. They had the wrong guys for their eternal companion at first, and that's why they don't have a baby. And it's just like, it's one
Okay,
of those things that I don't think is like conscious, but it's kind of there that like she wanted Rosalie to be this person who had this tragic backstory, but at the same time, she made her this character who just had no control over her life. She didn't really even pick who she was going to marry. She was just marrying this person because that's what it's expected of her, and that's what happens in a lot of religious communities. But still, she was punished for it. And it's just
so
hard.
so from your perspective, is Stephanie Meyer trying to frame Emmett and Carlisle as bad choices for these women? And
No, the
they're
people they picked before.
so
Now they have the good choices.
Bella's saving grace is that she was never interested in someone before.
Yes.
I got it. Got it.
That this is the only person she's ever wanted to be with. And she made the right choice right away. And she waited to be
Sure.
married
Okay.
and have sex before like making the other commitments. It's just like, okay,
Okay. And Rosalie's being punished for just to clarify, being gang raped.
being raped. Yep.
Gang raped. Okay. Cool. Glad.
And it's one of those things that it is like one of those really harsh things that people don't like to talk about, but it is very prevalent in that culture that it's like if you were like date raped or you were abused and it's like, well, what were you doing? Why were you alone with that person? What were you wearing?
Yeah.
Which
Like,
obviously perpetuates and makes it so much easier and safer for the abusers to continue
mhm,
that cycle as well.
mhm.
Because if you're going to be damned for all eternity, then why the fuck would you say anything? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
if
and I like Stephanie Meyer went to BYU, and it's one of those things that if you are raped at BYU, you are just as much at risk if you admit it that it happened. You are just as much as risk of being kicked out of school as the person who raped you.
oh,
That's so
oh
cool.
my God,
Like if
hate
you
it.
were forcibly held down and raped and you tell someone, you have to go to the honor committee. And like I think it's changed a bit because of backlash because of the internet. But like even when I was still going there, it was like don't go to this hill. This is what we call rape hill because like
Oh my
and it's
God.
like one of those things if you get sexually assaulted you are going to be have to go before the honor committee and tell them what you happened in explicit detail. And this is a thing, even if it's not at BYU, just like to your bishop, they'll ask you in explicit detail what happened. They ask you like, do you touch yourself? Like all these things, like constantly.
Oh
And
my
like, or
God.
like, why, how are you at fault for this sexual assault?
My brain does this thing because of the way we name our podcast episodes. We can all
Mhm.
agree that intrusive thoughts are a real thing, and sometimes they just
Yeah.
enter your brain. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
But my brain does this thing where while we're recording, I'm like, and that's the anti-episode title. And I think Rape Hill is like Rape Hill is the worst, worst
That's
episode
horrible.
title.
I do not want to go there. No, thank you.
No,
I
thank you.
don't think I wouldn't even go to that hill in the daylight. Like, I was like, no.
No,
No.
it's Rape Hill. You don't go there.
And it was like
Horrible.
badly lit. And I'm just like, why is this hill still this way?
This is bad. Um, I'd like to pivot a little
Yeah.
bit, maybe slightly, to imprinting and kind of like what your thoughts are on
Yes.
that as a concept as it relates to Mormonism.
Yeah, to me it's kind of still very related that it's like, oh, this is the perfect person for you. And it really goes back into the early Mormon prophets that had all the different wives and that they were like, oh, I had to marry this woman. Like she was meant for me, she was promised to me, sort of thing. Like it's one of those really terrible things. People don't like to talk about it, but Joseph Smith would send married men away on missions so that then he could marry their wives in eternal marriage. So they were still married to their husbands legally, but they were married to him eternally. And it's like one of those things that like, and you get into one of the big names in ex-Mormonism is Fanny Alger, who was their like housemaid, who was like 14 or 16, somewhere around there. And it was one of those things that they're like, there's a lot of like iffy things about it. And they're like, oh, but he married her. And it's like what is the it's just all this, it's very entitlement, and it's like one of those things that it's like, but there is this history of men in the church being like, but that woman was meant for me, and so she has to be with me.
I can feel it, and it is as God ordained or
And
whatever.
that
It's
woman is
like
wrong for refusing it. Like the description of the imprinting and how the girl feels about it, because how can you refuse that sort of adoration?
Yeah.
hmm
And
And
like
it's
it's like
just
a
like,
they
yeah.
also like feel it back, right? Even though we never experienced that side of it,
They
right?
they don't say they do. They don't actually. They don't imprint back. They are just,
But
how do you refuse that sort of adoration after a while?
I mean, with police and restraining orders.
And it's like one of those things that I was definitely on the receiving end, not like extreme, but like light. I really like you and I feel like I deserve a date with you.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Um,
And
and it
that's
was
not
like,
exclusive to Mormonism. That's general
yeah, but
Yeah.
when I
patriarchal
was like,
entitlement.
I
Yes.
don't want to date you. I don't feel comfortable around you. And everyone's like, but he was so brave in asking you out, and
Ugh.
Oh yeah,
he
Fuck
deserves a
off.
date with you.
Leela, our last week's episode has a big stalker scene in it.
Oh,
Yes, I'm still
Yeah.
reeling from
Yeah,
it.
I'm also still reeling from it. Yeah, I also think that there, and maybe you guys can help me like articulate this, like something about the like these men, they're like they might be like 16, 17, but they're gigantic. They're men.
yes,
Like meeting these infant toddler women and then being like in 18 years or whatever, we're going to be soulmates. Or in Jacob's case, thank God she ages so quickly. It'll only be like 4 years. But there's like something about like a reward for waiting patiently,
yeah,
for like the right thing or whatever.
It like also comes back down to like that loyalty thing,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
That's like I'm a better person than somebody else
because I'll
because
wait.
Because
I'll wait for
I'm
you.
loyal and I'll wait. Yeah, and like that waiting is like always a huge like signifier in the Mormon church. That it's just like, oh, you waited for the right person, you waited for your spouse, like, and
Mm-hmm.
just the reward of it. And it's I don't know, it's like the more recent prophet finding someone, 40 years his younger than him that somehow hadn't been married or had sex, but is a devout Mormon. She wasn't put on ice for potential people at all, but
Oh my God.
it's just like, oh, but we were meant to be together. And it's like one of those things that maybe that phrase like really irks me, like the meant to be together. And it's so funny
Yeah.
because in my relationship, like I'm the less religious one at this point, and and we're both very much like, it's work. Being in a relationship is a choice and it's work, and I like you, but it didn't have to be you.
Yeah. I think that's reality like I think that's a really good way to look at it because I choose you is so
Hmm.
like every single day I choose you is so much stronger than like we have to be together, we're meant to be together, we are together, so why would we leave? Those are passive things rather than
hmm
an active choice to love, which is
Hmm.
beautiful.
I agree. It reminds me of that concept of like what is it called? Predestination or predetermination. What is it called? That's like a Calvinism or like an early Christianity
Predetermination, yeah.
predetermination, where it's like that refers to something else, but it reminds me of that of like well, even when you were born, like before even your wife was a sparkle in her mom's eyes, she was meant to be yours. Like
Yeah.
you
I
guys were
yeah.
meant for each other.
I
It's
have
Well, and
like
so that goes a lot
stupid.
into the premortal life too, that people talk about having met in
Mm,
the premortal life and then being like meant to meet again on Earth, whether as like parent and child or
some
spouses or
twin flames
friends or
shit.
whatever. Yeah.
oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
have two, like, I have a two-part refutation to the like predestination meant to be. One, I just want to remind everyone we might think we do, but humans do not understand time at all.
Mm-mm.
So, how dare you even claim that you're going in one direction? Two, in nature which, is science. And I know that's, science and religion don't always mix well, but nature, very messy, nothing on purpose, all accidents all the time. Like it's not doing anything on purpose. Uh, okay. A quick question, since we were talking about imprinting. So I was perusing the Reddit subreddit of people talking about this. I saw someone say that they felt like Jacob was a representation, like a stand-in for like a secular person, because
Hmm.
he's sexy and he's
Yeah.
wild and he doesn't have rules and he doesn't have parental
Hmm.
supervision and like stuff like that. What do you think of that? I mean, he could definitely be serving two purposes with the imprinting thing and also this representation of like the outside world.
Yes. So I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm going to say them. I have to
Okay.
go pee real quick.
Okay, I'm actually gonna take a piss break too. Quick piss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Takenna, by the way, this episode's going great. We really
Yeah.
Oh,
appreciate
good.
you. Yeah.
Yay.
I'm so interested. During the bathroom break, I was able to rearrange my chair so I could get my Twilight blanket to
I
celebrate.
don't
I'm
know
very
if
cold.
you guys can tell, but I put on some glitter to be sparkly.
Oh my
Ugh,
gosh. This is the
wow.
skin of a Mormon, Bella.
Actually,
There's the
it
title.
really, I was gonna say, this question goes perfectly into like the next section of topic that I did really want to get into with this, which
Okay.
I'll just start with where we're at with Jacob and the absolute audacity of this woman to use a Native American tribe in her book that is like this huge tie to Mormonism because okay, we're gonna go back to the Book of Mormon with its really terrible beginnings.
Yeah.
Um, the way the Americas were settled in the Book of Mormon by the
Oh my
Native
God.
Americans
Okay.
was there was this guy Lehi with his sons Nephi and Jacob and Laman and Lemuel, and they lived in Jerusalem. And before like the destruction of that, they took these boats over to the Americas and left Jerusalem.
And are we
And
are we talking about the Roman destruction of Jerusalem?
I forget. It's been a
Okay.
while. That's
Okay.
There's
not
a
the
lot of
important
it's
part of the
But
happened a
book.
lot of
I
times.
guess what I'm getting to is that this was like a long time ago, but not that long of a time ago. This was like
Like, that's when they thought Native Americans came from, like several
it,
hundred
it
years before that.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like okay, got it.
But the 1800s people were not intelligent.
Sure.
So anyway, so they took these boats that were basically submarines, like there's really weird descriptions of these boats over to the Americas.
Submarines.
Yes,
Oh,
and they
sorry.
came
Okay.
here, and there was the Good brothers, that was Nephi, and they were the Nephites, and there was the Bad brothers, Laman and Lemuel, and they were the Lamanites.
Oh, I've heard these
And
words.
yes, it's
Okay.
bad. It's
Okay.
get ready for it to be bad.
Oh fuck. Okay.
So they somehow from this one family of like six people created two different civilizations. And there was the Nephites who were white and delightsome.
Okay.
Delightsome.
And yes, and the
Okay.
Lamanites who were cursed with dark skin.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
And throughout the Book of Mormon, it goes on and there's battles between them constantly. Jesus comes back and like people are saved by being white. And then but all of the Lamanites eventually kill out the Nephites and Moroni, Mormon and Moroni are the last Nephites and they die and then it's just the Lamanites and they forget about all of this and till, Joseph Smith comes back and reveal it all. And the Lamanites are supposed to be the descendants of the Native Americans.
Okay. Great.
So,
And
did I
it
hear you say, I'm sorry, did I hear you say there was a descendant named Mormon?
yes, the
Okay,
Book
I
of
don't know
Mormon. He
why
is
I
the
didn't know
person.
Oh,
that.
He
I
is
didn't
the
even clock
person who
that.
put together the Book of Mormon. Like
Okay, and that makes sense.
he organized the book. Like, have you heard of the gold plates? I should explain
Yeah,
this,
I
right?
have
yeah,
not.
I
It's a
have heard of the
podcast.
gold
This
plates.
is not a conversation.
Oh,
So the Book of Mormon is like translated from these gold plates that Joseph Smith found in a hill, and they're placed
Of
there by
course.
Moroni when he was a living human.
Okay.
And his father, Mormon, was the person who gathered all of the information and put it together into this book. And then Moroni had his own little thing at the end, and that's what he put in the hill.
And that's why it's the Book of Mormon. Oh my
Because it's the
Yes.
okay, it's the
God.
author, not the subject matter.
He is not the author. He is
Okay. Like
the
Compiler.
person who the compiler, yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Okay. It's just like I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
To me, all religion is just very interesting folklore.
yes.
A lot of religion sounds super made up to me.
Yes. Yes.
But this is kind of next level. It's not like I
I
upset
mean, if
Poseidon and so I
you
got in a boat accident watching the
want on
Odyssey
a different
recently.
episode, we can get into how it was plagiarized off of like a different book at the time.
Okay. I mean, for sure.
But
That's cringy lit, for sure.
Oh yeah. Wow.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so this gets into the audacity of using a Native American tribe as a major plot point in her books when
Yeah.
the Mormon church has been historically terrible to Native Americans and almost justified to themselves in their treatment of it because they are descendants of terrible people who are
Okay, but
cursed with dark skin.
is that controversial to talk about now? Because
Yes.
because
Wait, what do you mean?
so when I was in high school, one of the girls in my band, she was one of my best friends. Her name was Maddie. She was Mormon, and
Hmm.
I remember asking her, getting brave and asking her one time about this, about like, hey, I heard that like you guys believe that Native Americans are cursed by God with dark skin. Is that
Oh,
true? And she got really mad at me, like really, really mad at me, and was like, that's an outdated like concept. That's like not true at all. Like you should not be telling people that. Like
well,
just like
sure.
very
Like,
defensive.
yeah, I mean, that makes sense that like an individual would be like, and no, I don't believe that because
And then she
that's
was like, and
obviously a terrible look these days.
she's like, and there's a
It's
black
so
family at my
funny.
church. Just
Oh my gosh, I felt so bad for the black family at my church. People did not treat them well.
I mean, don't
uh,
go there.
yeah, that's bad.
There's thriving Southern Baptist communities just waiting for you to walk in the doors.
It's, I mean, that's a whole nother
Yeah,
topic
that's
of conversation.
So,
But yeah, it's one of those things that it's not, it's like the polygamy where people are like, we don't practice polygamy. And it's like, you totally do in
yeah.
practice.
You
It's
just know,
just not, it's
okay.
secret, it's separate. Yeah.
Do you guys
uh,
remember, Ken, did you see the Barbie movie?
Yes.
Okay, so there's this part where Ken learns about the patriarchy. He's like, "Woo, patriarchy!" He walks up to this businessman and he was like, "I would like a job." And the guy's like, "We can't give you a job. You're in a cowboy outfit." And Ken says, "What? I thought that you guys did patriarchy here." And the guy was like, "No, no, we do. Just got to be quiet about it these days." Like that's the same energy.
Yes. Yes.
I do want to briefly. I mean, obviously, this is very fucked up. Like even without thinking about the Mormon background, Stephanie Meyer's use of the Quillette tribe in her writing is
which is a real
It's
tribe.
terrible. It's terrible.
violently ignorant at best. I do want to mention, because I love to mention this when it comes up, that the Twilight fandom, and in particular the Facebook group Twilight shit posting, really is passionate about Twilight and is a huge fund. They do an annual huge fundraising effort to give back from their community that gets so much joy from Twilight, give it back to the Quillette tribe. And I just wanted to plug the Quillette tribe's Move to Higher Ground mission. They are moving like their community out of like hazardous zones and
Oh,
into safer
yeah.
grounds. It is literally mthg.org if you are a Twilight lover who wants to support the Colette tribe as well. But I do think that, these are not equivalent. Stephanie Meyer taking this history and turning it into like a charade of like native culture. But it is also separately very valuable and important that fans and individuals are coming together in community to do what they can to support this tribe
Do
and
you
their
think
Yeah.
Stephanie Meyer has anything to do with this
no
organization?
no
No.
no 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 no
No.
no
Yeah,
No.
I was gonna
I
say I
on
don't think
a
so.
Again, it's at some point where it's like I don't know if she deliberately did anything on like did these things like on purpose, and she was probably just like, "Oh, I'm using a tribe that's like real and that's cool." But like at some point it's like you're an adult woman,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
have some higher thought about it.
Yeah, like move to higher ground, Stephanie. Like literally I'm on the Move to Higher Ground website and there's a tab that says culture and traditions and I've already done more research than Stephanie.
Did you do more research than Bella though when she was researching vampires?
Of course not. I didn't go to the bookstore and ignore that book and then get on Google.
I think my favorite transition from the book to the movie is her researching the tribes, and it's just like, wow, this is somehow even worse than in the book.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
Um
good scene.
yeah. Um so let me take a look at my notes because there's a couple things. Um we could talk. We've definitely talked about this a little bit. There's not a ton to say about just like sort of pretty broadly um traditional gender roles. Like
Oh,
anytime you're like, why is Bella doing this thing? And it's always just like because she is a good Mormon wife, basically.
yes.
Kind of do you have anything to add to that pretty broad statement?
I have so much to add. The fact that the only thought Bella had ever had into her future was applying to college. No major,
Yeah.
no career,
Well, and no
no
likes or dislikes
ambitions.
either.
Even for
Yeah.
this modern woman, I'm sorry, I keep using hand quotes all the time. People are gonna miss it.
No, you can hear
Modern
it in your
woman.
voice. Modern woman?
Even for this modern woman who does not want children in traditional marriage. And it's like, but then why are you set up only to be a stay-at-home mom?
Yeah.
That it's honestly, this is a really personal topic to me
Yeah.
because I was not raised this way necessarily by my parents, but I was raised this way by my religion. That my only responsibility was to be a mom,
Yeah.
grow up, marry a good Mormon man, and have Mormon children and keep them in the Mormon church. And I wasn't like my mom and my dad weren't that way, and they're still not, well, my dad's still not that way, but like that's every other force around me was different. That it was like, this is what is purpose of you. And like with Stephanie Meyer being an author, that's like, well, you can do that and still be a good mom. Like that's not an
Yeah.
outside the house job.
I
Like
do
you can write
think,
a help.
yeah, a lot of times people don't think that's a real career. And for a lot of people, it's
Mhm.
not. For
And
Stephanie, it has been.
but it might not have been. It was a dream she had with an obsession of teenage Harry Cavill. And like it turned into a really huge book selling situation. But
Yeah.
like I'm not kidding about that teenage Harry Cavill thing either.
Yeah.
She
So
still wanted to cast him as Edward.
she's just, first of all, that's not right. That's not a 17-year-old, even when he was 17. So is that, I mean, she just was obsessed with him. That's like the whole
Yeah,
story.
that was who she imagined as Edward and like was very open about her like own fan casting for her book and was still trying to like even though at the point that it was like happening, it was like he's too old now. She's like, no, but
Yeah.
he'd be so good.
Because
Um,
Man of Steel came out in like 2009. What was he even in before that? I don't understand.
I don't know. She saw him as a teenager in something and
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I
Um,
don't know.
Weird.
so there's
But
like,
yeah, so you have Esme who is like just like her superpower is homemaker and she's like kind of held up as being like in a weird way, in a very Mormon way, she is the best vampire.
yeah, agreed.
She is the most kind, the most gentle, the
No
most
one ever gets
human-like.
mad at her. She never fights. She's always in your corner
She can't
somehow.
fight. Yeah, she
She
is so
can't
motherly
fight. I meant
and
she
all these
doesn't fight
things.
interpersonally, but like you're right, she also can't fight.
She like is so gentle and loving and kind and does everything for everyone and
Perfectly.
so selfless. And like Rosalie is kind of opposite. She's even though to me she embodies Utah Mormons so well, Rosalie, being
Okay.
obsessed with looks and perfection
She's got that
and
long blonde hair.
the ideal, and she just needs the baby to
Yeah.
finish the look with her perfect husband who looks exactly how she wants him to, and her looking perfect exactly how she wants herself to. And like it's one of those hilarious things where like Utah is like the top per capita of like plastic surgery, like because people are obsessed with like looking a
Oh,
certain way, even
okay.
though that's technically wrong. And it's just like all the bottle blondes, and every time everyone's like everyone's obsessed with being blonde and perfect and beautiful, and it's goes along with the being like perfectly white, except you have to be tan in the right way. Like you have to
Mm,
look healthy, but like
mm-hmm.
it's this huge thing. And it's just them being in forks and them having to be out of the sun and having to be white and pale, and it's really like Bella describing her like I was rereading the first like chapter of the book, and just the constant descriptions of Bella as her skin being like almost translucent and her being so proud of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like you sound sickly. Like
And
I
she's from
have
the desert. Like, that's just
Yeah.
bad evolution. You're not going to survive there.
this is gonna sound odd, but I am my mom's family is Swedish and
Mm-hmm.
like a little more olive toned than my dad's family.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousins from my dad's side, their dad is from New England area, and he's like really pale. And so my cousins are absurdly pale people
Yeah, I
and
get there's
always
like a
have been.
white there's like a difference between like apricot and like
Yeah,
white.
and apparently I inherited like the darkest genes my family possesses. Like, as absurd as that sounds looking at me.
She has white
And I
skin,
used to,
everyone.
yes, I'm very pale and white. And as a child, I tanned a lot. Like, and so and that was when we would visit our family in Utah. And so I have these pictures of me and my cousins when we were in Utah. And my sister, she's blonde hair, blue eyed. She has a paler skin tone than I do. And like, so she looks passably related to them. And I look like a random child they pulled off the street. Like, I do not look related to them. But it's just one of those things that to me they've always looked sickly, like this very paleness. And I'm like, why
Almost
is
like
this
they're
being
undead.
yes, I'm like, why is this being highlighted? I think I said to you guys before we started recording about how Stephanie Meyer was so upset that they were making Laurent a black actor.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it's because if you look at it, all the vampires are pale. They're basically like cured of their melanin by becoming a vampire, which is very similar to
Well,
like if in the second coming you'll be like perfect and
you'll
white
be
and
cured
whole.
of your melanin. That goes
Yes.
back to what you were saying about how people were cursed with dark skin. Like, that's such a crazy way of looking at like the beautiful
Yes.
diversity of nature.
Well, and I mean, I can't remember if it's actually in the Bible or it was just something I was taught about it, about how like Cain and his descendants were cursed with like dark skin too, and that's how we were
Yeah.
kind of taught like African black skin came from was like the curse of Cain, and it's just like that's also really messed up.
That's so crazy. Like, imagine there's this toad, and there's like a blue variety and like a red variety, like red stripe,
Hmm.
blue stripe, and they start like a race war over that. Imagine how crazy. And the red striped toads are like, imagine being cursed with blue stripes, and like think about how ridiculous that sounds.
I feel like that's the most prevalent short story premise, and everyone who reads is like, that's insane. But those other people who look slightly different than me, those people are
It's
terrible.
so wild. Um, I also was reading on Reddit that some like former Mormon girlies could could really see them like basically Bella is living a Mormon lifestyle. She just like never
Yes.
says it. Like, all of her
Yeah.
qualities are like Mormon girly things. Like,
Yes.
her okay, the fact that she's wearing ankle length khaki skirt and Edward calls her indecent, that is wild. His
I
favorite
mean,
shirt on her is like a conservative blue blouse.
I don't know if I've told you guys about how when I was about like 14, I was in this dress and it was like ankle length and it had sleeves probably about like this. I thought they were like really short sleeves. And like
Like
the
a baby
top was
doll
kind of like a
tee.
scoop neck. No, like it was no like this, like not even baby doll, like just like normal like, sleeves,
Yeah.
but I thought they were short.
I guess
And it
what
had
I'm
like a
saying is it's
scoop
like a
neck.
woman's cut t-shirt, you know? It's not like
Yes.
all the way to the elbow.
Well, and it was a little body con for back then, but it was a scoop neck, and I had like the tiniest bit of cleavage showing. And my mom was like bringing it up. She was like, and I don't have any cleavage. Oh, I said my sister's actual name. Whoops. Um,
There's a lot of out there. It's fine.
there are. Don't have any cleavage, but you do, and I didn't get it because I was very innocent. Like
Yeah.
I was a very innocent person. I didn't understand, like I didn't even understand what she was getting at.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I feel like you're saying I have bigger boobs than you guys. That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, but the fact like okay, like this was published in the year of the mini skirt, like the micro
Yeah.
skirt. Like the fact
Oh
that
God, no.
Bella's like, what do I wear? Grab something at random and it's like complete head to toe coverage.
Well, so that's why I was looking originally, I was like, oh, I should do some like Mormon style from the 2000s. And I was thinking one or multiple lace camis layered over a t-shirt
Yeah,
Over.
or under
I
a
Okay.
know what you're talking
cardigan.
about. Layering was
Um, the
everything.
mini skirt was acceptable with jeans underneath.
Of
Up, Tina.
course. Yep.
But really, mostly it was really long camis that basically could have been a mini dress. So you weren't wearing a
Yeah.
mini skirt. You had just had a really
Really
long
long shirt.
shirt with jeans underneath, obviously. No leggings because those are
Too
too
tight.
form fitting at that time. But yeah, like everything about her style like is so Mormon. And even her refusal being like, "Oh, school dances are so lame." Like it's just
Mm,
like
I won't go.
very
Yeah.
similar, and just her entire vibe and aesthetic, even though Stephanie very clearly wanted her to make what she viewed as like a secular like
Not like other
convert, you
girls.
know, not like other girls.
Yeah.
And just didn't
Just
work. It was like
is.
you don't even know how.
You don't
You
know what
can't.
other girls are doing, Stephanie.
No.
A lot of girlies on this Reddit thread were flagging Bella's love for classic literature, which is a great place to find gender role models.
Yeah.
Thinking of Sweet Jane from Pride and Prejudice, or like
Hmm.
Meg from Little Women, like they're everywhere.
It's I mean, even as I've read more of the classic literature, it annoys me even more because it's just like reading it with a modern lens. You can be like, no, this woman was doing the best she could in her time, but she was clearly different than the way you're trying to represent her. And even back
Yeah.
then, when I first read them, the comparisons to Romeo and Juliet and to like all these other novels have always bothered me. Any comparison to Romeo and Juliet always bothers me because
Oh
it's a
yeah.
tragedy. It's terrible. There were teenagers that died.
Yeah. Yeah, but they waited until marriage to have sex.
Yeah, and I guess
So,
that's what's
role
important.
models,
That's the takeaway. Yeah.
even though it
um
was in secret.
can I ask you, this is kind of like one of my final notes. It's like a bit of a non sequitur. What are Mormon weddings like?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna really, really insult Mormons with this because
We
you're not
haven't done that
supposed to
so far.
know. You're not supposed to
Oh
Oh,
my
know.
God, a peek behind the curtain.
I could tell you so much more about the initiation process you have to go to in order to be worthy to receive a Mormon wedding, but maybe I'll do that later. It's really fun. You get to look like the Pillsbury Doughboy with a leaf apron on.
okay.
I'm
Okay.
not kidding.
So my motivation in asking this question is: are ornate weddings a normal thing for Mormonism? Like thinking about Bella's wedding. So the answer I'm hearing is no.
It's weird because almost in a way they are,
Okay.
because they want to distract you from the fact that you aren't allowed to see the ceremony. And you do
Okay.
get married inside. It's like this celestial room. There's lots of mirrors reflecting back and forth to like see each other in eternity,
It's
and
kind
you
of cool,
kneel
actually.
across from each other in an altar. And like I will state, I have never been through the upper parts of the temple. I've only done the baptisms from the dead. I never got my endowment. I never got sealed. Like I never did
Okay.
any of that. Thank fucking God.
Yeah.
Um, but like so much shit. But you have to be like very modest. You have to be covered ankle to wrist to neck, like, and so that's why you'll see Mormon brides. My mom, she went decided to do a dress that did that. But a lot of women, they'll actually get married in their temple dress and then like change into their wedding dress after the wedding. And that's why you get all the pictures outside of the temple and it looks like you got married in this like beautiful castle. But and like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My parents, it was like planning a wedding, and their input was so bizarre because they'd never, I don't know if they'd ever been to a not Mormon wedding where it wasn't like the reception wasn't in the church hall where it was a potluck and like you didn't have to pay for any of the like dishes or chairs or tables because it was all just there.
Yeah.
And
That is nice. It's not, and it seems very low pressure in a way. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
not, but like
the high pressure is all
at least
leading up.
financial. Yeah, yeah.
The
Um,
pressure is just on eternity and not fucking that up. Yeah.
so it almost seems like Stephanie wrote this ornate, beautiful, insane wedding as like a way of being
You
like,
don't get it.
yeah, yeah, and it's like this is this like because she is probably very interested. Be like, wow, this
Hmm.
is so cool. Like this is the most cool wedding that could ever exist. Like it's not for me, but
Hmm.
it's
It's
so
becoming a
beautiful.
little more like when a few like oh my God, 10 years ago. I went to a friend's wedding and we didn't go to the wedding
Yeah.
because we're not Mormon.
Right.
But they're having more like receptions and they'll do like a ring exchange ceremony to like include people that are not Mormon because it's
Mm-hmm.
becoming one of those things where it's more and more like my sibling, my parent, my grandparent,
Yeah.
my uncle, whatever,
People you
my
really
niece or
want
nephew.
there.
They can't be there. And it used to almost be like code for, oh, you haven't gotten down yet. You're going to be a great babysitter for all the kids while everyone else is inside for the wedding.
Oh my God. Oh my
And there's
God.
a lot of kids.
There's so many
Yeah.
kids.
So, didn't Bella's dress go all the way to the wrists? I'm remembering right now.
Yes,
I think it did.
because it was styled after Edward's aesthetic.
Which is more.
Oh,
I did see some discourse about how like a lot of the like Mormon kind of like values that come from Edward rather than the ones that come from within Bella can be like ascribed to him being an old. Like it's like
Yeah.
the values of his time. But like I don't have the values of the when I was born in 1991. Like I have the values that I've learned since then. Like I don't know if that really is as hand wavy as it sounds at first.
Although I feel like those are the ones she more purposefully put in, like she thought about including, and the ones that come from Bella are the ones that like are more accidental
Yeah,
that she
okay,
just
because it's just like her.
didn't even realize she was putting in.
Yeah. Um Kenna, were there any other subjects we haven't covered today that you wanted to make sure we address before we wrap it up here? We are reaching the 2 hour mark, ladies.
Oh,
I'm honored.
yes. There's one more thing, and it's
Okay.
really important.
Okay.
Renesmee Carly Cullen
Uh
has the worst fucking name in the universe, and it
okay.
is a Utah Mormon thing.
okay. Explain.
The combination of names, like the whole like tragedy like name
Yes.
thing,
Yes, we are aware.
that mostly originated there.
That makes
Like the
sense.
Huh.
turning Lee into Lee with the GH, like
Uh-huh.
what unique spelling can we do? And I
Yeah.
think part of it is because so many people, and so many people are having children so young, and you make so many terrible decisions when you do things
That's
so
true. And
young.
also, if you do the thing that a lot of like religious or even culturally religious families do and go with Bible names, I mean, Mary Clay's family has like six different kinds of Marys in it. And it's like, you got to get a different name.
I kind of want to tell you, they're really identifying names. But I'll probably tell you guys later a couple
I was
friends'
going to say, girl, you won't
names that
even
I
tell us
have.
your name.
You know my name now at
Well,
this point.
us being
Yeah.
the listeners.
I don't know. It's also one of those things where I mean, my name is my Instagram name. I'm not going to add you, but it is. I am findable, but it seems mean because it's not me. But their Bible names with their names are, and it's just like these are terrible, terrible names. And like I know so many ones that like people, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, like the Antichrist from the Book of Mormon. Like I've heard of people naming their child after that, and it's just
What?
like,
That seems like the
yes.
opposite of what you should do.
Yes, but like Nephi, Lehi, like they're names of places in Utah, but they're also like children get named these things
Oh
from the
my
Book of
God.
Mormon, and they're not good names.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that,
Renesmee might be the most memed thing in
and I
all
love it. I
of
love the
Twilight culture.
Robitussin,
Yeah,
rotisserie
resume,
chicken, like yeah, whatever. I love it. I think it is a
reconnaissance.
great trend. I think it needs to keep up, but I love it. Also, why not just name her Carly? That would
Carly,
have been a normal name.
hey, I support
Um,
that. And I mean, that would give Charlie something.
Yeah, it's true.
but
Uh,
it's so bad. And it's one of those things that when I read that in the book, I was like, this is a terrible name. But also I wasn't like, how did she get there? Like people were like, why is she thinking this? And I'm like, oh no, this is totally
It's
thing
right
people
there.
do.
She shows the work.
Like
Wow.
me and my sister are mostly named after books, but
Hmm.
like that name or I'm
As long
apparently named after a friend, but I'm like I'm named after a book.
as long as
Um,
the book you're naming your kid after isn't Twilight Breaking Dawn.
I mean even the amount of Bellas, I'm just like don't do it right.
Yeah,
Like wait, 20 years
yeah, I agree.
still.
Yeah. Dogs, fine. Children, take your time.
I know, get a pet, name your pet that. It'll be
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
I've known a couple really sweet dogs named Bella, and I'm like, that's so cute for you.
Oh,
And
I feel
Your
like
you
I
were
dog
can't even
named
name.
by a 15-year-old Twilight fan.
I feel like I can't even talk. It was one of those funny things because like my eldest child's name is my sister's middle name,
Hmm.
which is a very normal name. But
Yeah.
at
Sometimes
the
you're like,
same
hey,
time,
that
I
one's good.
realized when I realized when I was a child, I had a doll that I named that. Like my sister's one of my favorite people, and I'm like, I totally named my child after her. But she's got a good name. Like it's not a bad name. But
Yeah.
it's one of those. It's like if I combined my sister's first and middle name and made like a really weird name, that would have been.
We did that, Leela. Wait. We did that. Oh, we did a video on our Instagram where you were like, coming soon, baby So Shannon. Because it's like Susan and Shannon.
Yeah, Susan and Shannon are not good. They do not combine well because
Sue
Susan and
Shannon.
plus Shannon is just Shannon or just Susan. It's the same.
I mean, I think I've brought it up
Susan.
before, but before you guys started saying it aloud, I said my screen name as Takenna. And so it'd be like, it
Oh,
was like naming someone that.
okay. Well, I feel like Takenna is like a screen name, but Takenna is like a
Yes.
name, and you
Well,
are that
because
name.
Takenna is a screen name.
Yeah, exactly. But we have nameified your
It's
screen
Anne
name.
Cat backwards.
Oh.
Um, Leela, was there anything you wanted to get to this episode that we haven't yet?
Oh yeah.
I don't think so. I feel like we've encompassed a lot. And yeah, I was actually during the break, I was telling Christina that a lot we've gone over specifically about ins and outs of Mormonism is stuff I've kind of like recently learned from this obsession I have right now of watching like murder and cult documentaries on
Hmm.
Netflix. And because nearly every cult has a some kind of Mormon background to it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and I just think that it's very interesting that so many grifters and CEOs of MLMs and um, scammers. It really makes sense that they're Mormons because they are like these charismatic people
Yeah.
who come across very nice and genuine, but like they're not,
You get
you
into
know?
the proselytizing and the missionary background, and
Yeah.
it's like they know how to do sales and like they're very
Yeah.
Hmm.
into it. And
That's a big thing.
there's so many MLMs that have started as in Utah, and it's like I would be suspect of pretty much any business that started in Utah, and it's like turned out so many of them that it's just like bricks and minifigs even, or like crumble cookies, like
Oh,
so
crumble.
many
Crumble.
businesses that.
I didn't know about
Yeah,
crumble.
interesting.
I mean, you'd have to fact check me on that one. I'm pretty sure, but like yeah. It's like one of those ones where it's like you gotta they're hard to spot sometimes, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're there. And it's because it's what they've been taught and it's not even for men. Like finding a profession isn't really highlighted. And it's
Mm.
just like you have to be a provider, but it's not like, oh, these are good professions to
And
have. It's
yeah, or
just
like,
like
and
provide.
here's career advice.
No, just provide. You must make money. And
You
it's like,
must
well, I'm a
provide.
door to door sales makes money right
I
now.
see. Yeah, okay. So I came into this episode with a question that has like certainly been answered because
Oh,
my
okay.
what I was wondering coming into this with like the kind of baseline Twilight to Mormonism that we have already talked about in our episodes. I was wondering if like the presence of these like ideals and values in Twilight was Mormon or if it was more broadly just Christian religious. But this conversation has made me feel very confident that it is Mormon specific. The whole celestial path thing, I'm like,
Was
that's
that good?
Twilight. Yeah. That's what are we talking? That's vampires, baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I think there's obviously a lot of overlap in the Venn diagrams when it comes to just like Christianity, TM, and Mormonism. And I think the reason is I think that Mormons get a lot of converts that start out as Christians, and it's like, oh, there's already so much familiar ground here. You know, we both love Jesus, you know, and believe all the Jesus stuff. There's just extra Jesus lore. Like, who doesn't want more stories about Jesus?
It's like the Roman gods. They're like, don't even worry about it. It's like basically what you guys already know.
Yeah.
You don't just keep doing what you're doing. It's perfect.
The same as those Greek gods, just a couple of tweaks.
Just like a couple of more fun tweaks. Yeah.
So do you guys think this conversation has been horny, sad, or just plain bad?
Oh no.
Why does every super religious thing we talk about make me want to say horny? I'm like, sex was everywhere in this. Sex was everywhere in this conversation.
Rape hill, Tina.
Oh, you're right. We said rape hill. But it's the repression. The repression is so sexy. I think I'm gonna go with sad.
I mean,
because
repression does make you very horny, but
I'm going with sad because of little Takenna reading Twilight and being like, this is normal.
I'm gonna go with just plain bad. I obviously think it's sad, but I think that similar to a podcast that we love that I've started listening to again. Sounds like a cult.
Sounds like a cult.
Where they will end it with, is this cult a live your own life, watch your back, or get the fuck out?
Yes.
I think I probably would have. I would say get the fuck out.
But watch your back, and if you're just Twilight cult.
Right. Just Twilight is watch your back for sure. But Mormonism, get the fuck out. And I feel like that is the same tone as just plain bad.
Yeah, doubly so if you're a woman. Get the fuck out.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it's so bad. I hate it. I left. It's awesome. And if I've insulted you, please pay money to this podcast so you can come on the Discord and yell at me.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, thank you so much, Takenna. This has been like a wonderful conversation. We have very few episodes that go this long, but I think that every second of this conversation was very interesting. And I think we did our due diligence instead of just being like 6 straight episodes of being like, oh my God, why is Jacob acting like this? We're like, okay, let's actually talk about what's really happening here. So thank you so much for lending your expertise and talking about your experience and doing this episode with us.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys ever want to get into The Host, which is an equally terrible book, I know all about that one and can also tell you how it is so Mormon.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm ready.
I'm gonna
put. Oh my God!
Because we have a lot of Twilight people on the Discord, I think I might be one of the only ones that's read The Host.
Yeah. Okay, I put you down for whenever we get to it after the maternity leave. That is it for Burn Before Reading.
Until next week, remember,
your cringe is part of you,
but only a telestial part of you.
Thanks for listening to Burn Before Reading.
Created by me, Christina Kahn.
Hosted and produced by Christina Kahn and me, Leela Hilton.
Logo designed by Michael Hardison. Follow him on Instagram at RoyGBivRVA or check out his work at wildlingpress.com.
Theme music by Sakura Wishes.
Find me online at tbr.tinabereading on Instagram.
Find me at Leels for Reels on Instagram.
Join us on Patreon for access to our Discord server, monthly bonus episodes, and other fun stuff.
Find video recordings of most of our episodes on YouTube at Burn Before Reading. Follow the podcast on Instagram at Burn Before Pod or email us at burnbeforepod@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, friends.
See you next time.